Hey everyone, it's Fun Around. My name is Jordan. Welcome to Saturday's three-game slate for the WNBA. We have Caitlin Clark making her sophomore season debut against Angel Reese. I know everyone's excited about that one. We also have a matchup of who've been the two juggernauts for the past few seasons with the Aces and the Liberty. So for this video, you will see images that come up on the screen right here. This from a data app called Outlier. There will be a link in the description for a 7-day free trial for Outlier. I want to talk about this first game, the Aces at the Liberty. The Aces had a small shift in their roster over the offseason. Kelsey Plum went over to LA. They ended up with Jewel Lloyd. If you don't know who Jewel Lloyd is, she was one of the top scorers in the WNBA last season. Takes a ton of volume. I don't know necessarily about the fit here because Jackie Young can sometimes take a lot of volume there. And then Asia Wilson is going to get her volume no matter what. And then on the other side of things, with the Liberty, not too many changes. They did add Natasha Cloud, who I really like, foreshadowing one of the props. But their main core is still pretty much there. Not too many changes there. You know, Sabrina Jones and Brianna Stewart are all still there. So this first prop that I do like is going to be Natasha Cloud over 5.5 assists at -116. She's going to be taking over the role that Courtney Vandersloot had as the starting point guard. Sabrina Nescu will be probably have some point guard duties, but be mostly shooting guard. Natasha Cloud is one of the better passers in the WNBA. And you see on the screen, you see all of her assists that she got. That was with the Phoenix Mercury, a worse roster, but now she's got, you know, one of the better teams, you know, the defending champs, all around her to rack up assists. So the line does feel pretty low for a Natasha Cloud assist line. I guess they're assuming that Sabrina Nescu is going to still have a lot of point guard duties and get a lot of assists there. But for the beginning of the season with these teams and the way the roster shifted, we're really just trying to predict how everything's going to work out, you know, who's going to get the usage and all that stuff. And all I know is Natasha Cloud can pass the ball very well, and she's got a great roster around her. So I like her for 6+ assists in this matchup against the Aces. And then before I get into this next one, if you guys could, please like the video. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. If you have a little bit of extra time, could you leave a comment for the algorithm? You can just say anything. You can put day 2 for the WNBA, and that'll work. And also, I want to shout out the app Novig. Novig is a social sports book. You can use it in all the states that you see on the screen. You can bet spreads. You can bet money lines. You can bet player props like straight bet. You can bet on UFC fights, all that good stuff. You're not forced to parlay 2 different things, and it's in a lot of states that don't allow sports books like DraftKings and Fanduel. So you make an account, they give you $5 free. Use promo code FINDAROUND11 all caps. They'll give you 50% off up to $25. So check that out. Link is in the description. That'll take you straight there. And this next game is the big one everyone's going to be paying attention to. Probably a lot of casuals going to be watching this one with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, the Chicago Sky versus the Indiana Fever. I'm going to, I know I said I wasn't going to do this, making a parlay. I didn't remember there being too many alt lines last year, but after just day 1, if you had taken my plays and bumped them down by 1 rebound or 1 basket, they all would have hit. So everything ended up really, really close. So I'm going to do an alt parlay, only 2 legs. I'll never go 3 legs. I will always want to make it 2 legs to get around even money. So this is going to be a FanDuel parlay for +105. And the first leg is going to be Caitlin Clark for 8+ assists. Just because, you know, everyone wants to root for Caitlin Clark. And her assist last season, it didn't start out too great passing the ball, and her line wasn't that high, and it continually got better. You could see her improvement as the season went and that line kept going up. Even her scoring kept going up. I'm not going to go with her scoring in this one. She could have a huge game, but they added a lot of really good offensive pieces. So I feel like assist is the safer look. So in her last 20 games that she played, she only went under 8 assists in 4 of them. And in the offseason, they brought in DeWanna Bonner, who is a good scoring big, good 3-point shooter. Natasha Howard, who's kind of an underrated big that can score and rebound. And then they brought in Sophie Cunningham, who she's going to be out for this one, but she's also a great scorer, 3-point shooter. And she already has a great rapport with Aaliyah Boston, where she's going to get a lot of assists on the pick and roll there. And then Kelsey Mitchell, who is like a pure scorer. I wanted to go with Kelsey Mitchell, but I'm not sure how the usage and everything is going to work with this lineup and this roster. So I know Caitlin Clark's going to be distributing the ball. That's one thing, that's for sure. So I like her for 8+ assists. And then to add on to that, you would think I would go with Angel Reese rebounds, but Angel Reese rebounds is coming out at 13.5 right now. And I feel like that's pretty high, and she's had some big rebounding games. I'm actually going to go with Camila Cardoso with 8+ rebounds. She is the other big for the Sky. You probably haven't heard of her too much if you haven't paid too much attention to the WNBA, but she's a lot bigger than Angel Reese. Angel Reese gets a decent amount of rebounds off of her own shots. And I have a hot take that Angel Reese is going to be better offensively, and those rebounds necessarily aren't going to be there this year. I know you may be laughing or whatnot, but I watched her in that Unrivaled, and Angel Reese scoring actually got much better. I saw her improve with her scoring, so we'll see if that translates over to the WNBA. So we'll see if those rebounds continue to stay that high. But Camila Cardoso is getting overlooked. She started the season last year injured. She came in, and then once she finally got to play 25+ minutes, I'm going to filter right here to when she played 25+ minutes, and boom, she went over 8+ rebounds in 90% of games last year, getting 25 or more minutes. So she's also a great rebounder there on the Sky. So matching 8 assists, Caitlin Clark with 8 rebounds from Camila Cardoso. This gets you to +105 on Fanduel. So I really do like this parlay. And then as for the final game, it's the Storm versus the Mercury. I'm going to talk about it. I can't settle in on anything because these rosters have changed so much. So the Storm, like I said, they lost Jewel Lloyd, who was a high volume scorer. That makes me think, okay, well, Skylar Diggins can score. What about her line? And then you have Gabby Williams, who can score. What about her line? And then there's Ezzy Magbagor, who can also score, and Agumake, who can also score. But when it comes to the guards, I was looking at Skylar Diggins and Gabby Williams. Gabby Williams is a little bit lower, and Skylar Diggins is right where I would think it would be at. If it was a little bit lower, it would probably be in this video. But I just can't pull the trigger on it right now because I have no idea how the usage is going to go for the Storm. And then on the other side of things, the Mercury, they have Alyssa Thomas now, which is going to be weird to see. They have Satu Sabably. It's going to be weird to see. And then Kalia Copper is going to be out for this one. So that's a ton of volume. And they don't have many scores. The true, like, pure scorer is going to be Satu Sabably. And her line is at 20.5. I would take it. But the Seattle Storm, their bigs are actually very good defensive bigs. So she could struggle there. She would need to get some open shots. I know she can knock down some threes, but trying to get to the basket could be difficult for Satu. So we'll see where other offense comes from. It could be Aaliyah Thomas. Her line for scoring is pretty low. Sometimes she just has some games where she doesn't score at all, pretty much. But then she has some other games where she she does score. She has a pretty ugly looking jump shot. She's kind of like the Jokic of the WNBA, except without an offensive game. Unless she really wants to, she can just turn up. So there's nothing that I love from that game, just because I need to see these teams play at least one game. Just give me one game. Just like the LA Spark. I went with Rickea Jackson, which I still don't hate the play. She ended up with 13. I had her for over 14 and a half. She needed one more basket. She played the entire fourth quarter, and she did not score and missed a lot of pretty easy shots. But if I would have known that Kelsey Plum's volume was going to be the way that it was going to be, I would easily gone with her. So now we know Kelsey Plum's going to take a ton of shots. She's going to be that number one option. She scored, 36, 37 points, something like that. And her line was at 20 and a half. She wasn't doing anything like that with the Aces because Asia Wilson was there. Now we've seen her kind of unlocked. And that makes me think, what about Jewel Lloyd over with the Aces? Who was scoring so much, on her own with the Storm. She's going to go play where Kelsey Plum was. Do you take the under on Jewel Lloyd? That's something to consider as well. So for Saturday, I'm going to stick with the prop, and then I'm going to try this alt parlay. If the parlay does well, it could be something that I continue for the rest of the season. They did do well in the NBA playoffs. The most recent one didn't hit because of that major blowout with the Celtics. But more often than not, those are hitting. So we will see how that goes. So if you'd like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. Link is in the description. You can talk about WNBA in there. There's a lot of knowledgeable people in there talking about WNBA and giving plays. That Discord is free. And then as far as a recap goes, I did talk about Rickea Jackson. She came up one shot short. I had Kiki Irfin for over 4.5 rebounds. She did get to start as I projected because two of the bigs were out. I didn't know she was going to get as many offensive opportunities as she got, and points plus rebounds was the move. She ended up with 4, and then she ended up fouling out near the end. So 5 rebounds for the role that she had shouldn't have been too much to ask for, but she ended up fouling out and missed opportunity there for 5 of them. And then I had Courtney Williams for over PRA. She beat PRA with just points alone because Kayla McBride was out. That was an easy read. I did mention I like Nafisa Collier's points as well, and she crushed it too. Put up over 30 points. She's also someone to look at, for good matchups, especially if Kayla McBride stays out. I wanted to know where that volume was going to go, and it went to Nafisa and it went to Courtney Williams. So we're just learning as we go. So I'm going to get this edited and get it out to you all. God bless you. It's the final round. My name is Jordan. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.